boy, we got trouble in Egypt. Now, as I saw some of the videos right after Mohamed Morsi was deposed by the military in Egypt, I started to get really worried. People in the streets from Muslim Brotherhood talking about, we're going to burn the Christians. And I thought, what did the Christians do? They're not in power. I don't understand what they had anything to do with it. But that's what happens. Once religion gets involved, people start blaming other religions. In fact, some churches have already been targeted in some portions of Egypt. And another one saying, we're going to bring guns. And, you know, the military did this. And al-Sisi, the general, has this coming. And we're going to turn violent. And as I saw that man screaming, I saw an older woman screaming inside a burqa. I thought, here comes trouble. And in fact, right after that came trouble. Now, these numbers will be outdated by the time you see it because they're constantly rolling in, right? But before we went to air, there was reports of heavy gunfire that had killed 2 policemen at least and 1 army officer. But every time I read a news story, that number changes. 42 troops injured, 8 in critical condition. On the other hand, according to Egypt's health ministry, 53 protesters have been killed and 435 wounded. Those are significant numbers as well. Now, when you ask whose fault it is, both sides blame each other to no end. The Muslim Brotherhood says, oh my God, the cops fired on us. They hate us. They want to kill all of us. The cops say, no, the Muslim Brotherhood came in here and started firing, sometimes at the cops, sometimes throwing fire bombs, sometimes actually with bullets. And then another set of stories you hear, and some of this is all corroborated by Associated Press and other press on the ground, that Muslim Brotherhood does not go to the police, but they go to anti-Morsi protesters and they start firing on them. And they start killing some of them. And then the anti-Morsi protesters, the secular guys, are screaming, where's the army? Where's the police? Because they're being killed. So then the police and the army come, and then it becomes a bigger and bigger mess. And there are, like I said, real reports of in one case, Republican Guard building where they thought they had Morsi. Morsi's now been moved to an undisclosed location. But they go and put up a pro-Morsi sign. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Remember, Muslim Brotherhood is a significant percentage of the Egyptian population, right? They won the elections first time around. It's very important to keep them as part of the process. You can't shut them out entirely. They scare the bejesus out of me, right? I got no interest in the Muslim Brotherhood. I don't agree with them. They're not my ideology, okay? But if you're going to run a liberal democracy, you've got to include everybody. So they go put up a poster. Apparently the army tells them, don't put up that poster. The army rips it down. They go put up a second poster. At that point, there is a credible reporter on the ground saying the military starts firing at the Muslim Brotherhood. You can't do that. You can't do that. They didn't initiate violence there. All they did was put up a poster, right? Now, on the other hand, very credible reports that the Muslim Brotherhood starts firing on the cops to get counterfire so that innocent civilians die, and they go, you see what the military's doing, what the cops are doing? This is outrageous. Oh, the military's all wrong. And they're the ones that started the bloodshed. But I've seen with my own 2 eyes protesters inside the Muslim Brotherhood saying, we want the bloodshed. We want it. In fact, you don't have to just go to videos that we've seen on the internet. You can go to Sheikh Zahran Aloush, commander of the Islam Brigade. It says, secularism has shown its ugly face to those who are blind, and the mask of democracy has fallen in the struggle between right and wrong. As the Mujahideen leaders say, we choose ammunition boxes over ballot boxes. Now look, he's part of the Islam Brigade, not necessarily Muslim Brotherhood, not necessarily the religious extreme in Egypt. But then you go to Mohamed Badi, who is the chief of the Muslim Brotherhood in Egypt. He said, God, make Morsi victorious and bring him back to the palace. That's fine. But then he followed it up by saying, we are his soldiers. We defend him with our lives. They're egging him on. They're egging him on. And they're saying, okay, well, democracy didn't work. Let's go back to our tried and true method of violence. But I got news for you. You're not going to win that battle because the military is the military. They already have the weapons. Yes, you can get into an extended guerrilla warfare that could last for decades. That's not going to help anybody. It's a terrible idea. If the Muslim Brotherhood had any political sense, what they should do now is say that they have the moral high ground and demand to be represented in the next set of elections and have people be outraged that their guy was thrown out of office and win the next elections. That would be your best revenge. And that would be democracy in action. And next time you won an election, perhaps you should reconsider immediately changing the Constitution and getting rid of portions of the parliament. In other words, be calm, do actual democracy, and by the way, you might want to pick up the garbage every once in a while and have the power be on. Be efficient representatives of the whole people, which you weren't this time around. Now, instead, if you say, I'm going to go and use force and use violence, try the military to get the military to kill more of us and start basically a bloody revolution, you're not going to win that anyway. I got news for you. No one wins from that. Egypt doesn't win, the region doesn't win, nobody wins. Then you've got literally no brotherhood in Egypt. So unfortunately, it's a terrible idea, but the streets are already boiling over. I hope that somehow they've put a lid on it and find a way to reel it back in. But as of this moment, I'm very concerned about how it's going.